And just now, most of the speech covered by Bing covers financial services or family offices. But I must say, as we see things now, it's worthwhile to go a little bit further in terms of how this whole journey has started in terms of Hong Kong building a family office ecosystem. Without boring all of you, if you recall, the year 2023, this government issued a policy statement on how we want to develop Hong Kong as a family office ecosystem. It was a time when we have COVID, and also at the same time, there was a lot of uncertainty about how the world may unfold. But against that backdrop, we have 8 measures being introduced, including tax concession for family offices, a capital immigration scheme, the decision to set up an academy for wealth legacy, and at the same time, ways to streamline our approval process for charities in Hong Kong. And since then, till now, 4 years have passed. And at the year 2023, when we launched the policy statement, it was also the very first year we hosted the Wealth for Good Summit. So it was a time when nobody knew exactly what it is. So because it was the time when people thought most wealthy individuals or families want to stay low profile, so they don't want to be seen. So I was warned by many people around me that the summit is going to be failure because they don't want to be seen, they don't want to be heard, and that's why no one will come. But that said, we had a very successful inaugural event in the year 2023, and at the same time that time goes on, now it comes to the 4th edition. So as I highlighted, it's really a journey. So after 2023, you may wonder what happened. Just now being mentioned about our collaboration, and it's exactly in the year 2024, the year thereafter, that we have a family office nexus with Bloomberg in terms of articulating what Hong Kong proposition is for family offices, and also in particular what each other can offer to each other in terms of growing this ecosystem. So if I may recall, actually before that nexus collaboration, I had the opportunity to meet Michael and also Kevin back then in New York, and thanks to Bing's arrangement. What I impressed most are 2 things. First of all, Michael is really a person that's very approachable. So I recall that when I went to his office, it was just like a normal desk for a clerk, really. I thought I was in the waiting room, and actually it's not waiting room, it's his office. So he served me tea and fruits, and I still remember that. That's number 1. And number 2 is the fact that he has a lot of insights, in particular, how he can put his personal wealth and energy to good causes, in particular his foundation. So it actually inspires me a lot in terms of what family office can do, not just for wealth preservation or creation, but more in particularly what you can do for the community. And thereafter, thanks to Bing and also thanks to Kevin, we have this arrangement where with this nexus, and then soon after that, we have this rule book issued by Bloomberg, basically a one-stop shop on the Bloomberg terminal, allowing everybody who would like to learn about Hong Kong's licensing requirements for family offices, the investment landscape in Hong Kong and others information, you can get access to that. So I was told there's a lot of entries and also at the same time a lot of usages in that rulebook, which is promising and also enlightening. And that said, soon after 2024 with 2025, and during that year, I think that we have a number of good news. Number 1 is that we announced there are 2,700 single-family offices in Hong Kong. What I want to clarify is that even though we fixate on that number, it's not just the number that we get from our Invest Hong Kong. It's actually include the number that Deloitte, which is the independent consultant that we asked to do this research, provide us with in terms of single-family offices in Hong Kong, and it hasn't included the multiple family offices in Hong Kong. So that's why the ecosystem in terms of number is actually bigger than 2,700. That's number 1. And number 2, if you look at how we have come about, as I say, it's a journey, since 2024 and 5, just very recently, in the early part of this year, we announced another figure, which is 3,380, which represents a 680 increase in the number of family offices and also almost 25%. And that number again is just a number that was given by an independent survey, and we expect the number to be more because the reason that we have this number is we didn't really count for other family offices which just come by without government support. So many of them just come here, get their company listed, and form a family offices, and actually we don't really know. But that said, I think the 3,380, which is a quite auspicious number, is a good indication. in terms of how vibrant and also how robust we have as an ecosystem for family offices. And also at the same time, I think one thing that we all try to do throughout these years is, apart from the number we want to grow, we also want to make sure that the family offices system, as it grows, is benefiting the overall community. That's why in the latest survey, apart from indicating this number of 3,380 single-family offices, we also have a few figures. First of all, is that we estimated there are around 10,000 individuals or professionals working in this sector in Hong Kong. I suppose most of them are here, so raise of hands if you are working for family office here, I suppose one way or another, or indirectly. At the same time, there's another figure that we produced, is that annually, we expect the family office ecosystem is benefiting Hong Kong in terms of GDP around like 13 billion Hong Kong dollars. So again, we want to illustrate family office is not just an elite group in Hong Kong, but rather it is penetrating and benefiting the overall community. And of course, being journalists and being Bloomberg, you are offer critical people. And every time I quote this number, people will ask, okay, a good number to quote, but that said, how about the size, the AUM of these family offices? And I can also share with you in this report that we estimated among these 3,380 single-family offices, more than half are managing assets or AUM beyond 50 million US dollars. And the smallest that we get is around 10 million US dollars. So I would say it is really quite an indicative report in terms of how the ecosystem has been faring, at the same time how we have grown about developing this financial service area. So this is where we are now in the number. So, but the next question to ask, being journalist, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes, is how about going forward, right? Where should we go from here? And it's my firm belief that we should really get our family office 2.0 or this ecosystem deeper and more integrated. I think it should be integrated or deeper in three senses. Number one is to get the local or the very indigenous family offices in Hong Kong try to be more integrated with the regional and global ones. And this is very illustrative in our Wealth for Good Summit that we took place yesterday, that we have a very good dialogue among the long-established family offices in Hong Kong, like Hai San, with the new ones or with the very well-established ones from Germany. For example, we have Leica, and also at the same time from Europe and US and Australia. So this is number one in terms of integration that we want to see. Another type of integration is to see how family offices can get more embedded in different economic or financial activities of Hong Kong, including like technology, in terms of green, in terms of social enterprises, etc. And that's why I suppose the reason that Kevin and Bing are having this conference is to make sure that these topics will basically penetrate throughout this coming summit. The final integration that I want to see is that the ecosystem is not just benefiting the so-called Wall Street, but also the Broad Street. That's why philanthropic activities are so essential. And in that regard, right now we have more than 10,000 registered charities in Hong Kong, and we are looking forward to see more. In particular, we are very eager to see how this family office ecosystem can really benefit the underprivileged in the community. That's why the Academy for Wealth Legacy that we set up a few years ago is very eager to see how we have all these kind of local and regional charity projects coming together, share experiences, learn from each other, and also encourage more similar acts by family offices here and also regionally and globally. Right now, they have engaged around 700 family participants, and I definitely want to push them to do more. And in that regard, I look forward to further collaboration with Bing and Bloomberg to get this ecosystem more integrated, deeper in the three senses I mentioned: East and West, finance and other economic activities, and also at the same time, finance with the broader social and also the philanthropic endeavors. So I suppose my time is up because I saw the red light is flashing. And also at the same time, I look forward to more insight and also more sharing from the speakers to come.